call to the Vidyalaya level Youth Parliament KVINS Dronacharya, Kochi. We will start the first item in the list of business, which is oath or affirmation. Members to take the oath or affirmation. Secretary General, please.
Srimati Monisha Rao Allu, who stands elected from the Tirupati constituency in Andhra Pradesh, will now take the oath or affirmation. Madam, would you like to take oath or affirmation?
Oath, please.
In which language would you like to take the oath?
In English, please. I, Monisha Asrao Allu, have been elected a member of the lower house of the Youth Parliament. Do swear in the name of God that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India, as by law established, that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will faithfully discharge the duty upon which I am about to enter.
Sri Mayank Singh Ahuja, who stands elected from the Faridabad constituency in Haryana, will now take the oath or affirmation. Sir, please.
Oath, please.
In which language would you like to take the oath?
In English, please. Mayank Singh Ahuja, having been elected a member of the lower house of the Youth Parliament, do swear in the name of God that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance to the Constitution of India, by law established, that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will faithfully discharge the duty upon which I am about to enter.
We are confident that your contribution will be very fruitful to both the House and the country. Honorable members, as we meet today, it's my sad duty to inform the House of the demise of Shri Veerbhadra Singh, former Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh.
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदया, मैं आप एवं सदन के नेताओं द्वारा अर्पित की गई श्रद्धांजलि में अपनी कोखी शामिल करता हूँ। श्री वीरभद्र सिंह न सिर्फ पार्टी के निष्ठावान नेता थे, बल्कि एक जिम्मेदार सांसद और समाज सुधारक भी थे। उन्होंने सदन की कार्यवाही के साथ साथ जन कल्याण की विभिन्न योजनाओं के प्रचार में अपनी गहरी रुचि दिखाई। राजनीति के अलावा वीरभद्र सिंह ने सामाजिक और सांस्कृतिक निकायों में भागीदारी की। यह एक ऐसा दुख है जिसे शब्दों में व्यक्त नहीं किया जा सकता। माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदया, मैं शोकाकुल परिवार के सदस्यों को अपनी संवेदनाएं प्रेषित करने तथा स्वयं को और अपने दल को संयोजित करना चाहता हूँ।
The House may stand in silence for a while to express our deep sorrow. Secretary General may convey the message of condolences to the bereaved family. The next item in the list of business is introduction of new ministers. Prime Minister to introduce new ministers.
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदया, मुझे सदन में दो नए मंत्रियों से आपका परिचय कराते हुए बेहद खुशी महसूस हो रही है। श्री प्रतिभा माले, विदेश राज्य मंत्री एवं संस्कृति राज्य मंत्री। श्री विष्णु प्रसाद, जल शक्ति मंत्री।
Members, let us move on to the next item in our list of business today, the question hour. Question number 101, Ms. Shreya Yadav.
माननीय महोदया, मैं पूछना चाहती हूँ कि हमारी सरकार बाढ़ ग्रस्त क्षेत्रों के लिए क्या कर रही है। बिहार में प्रत्येक वर्ष बाढ़ आती है, बहुत बड़ी संख्या में लोग की मृत्यु हो जाती है, बहुत बड़ी संख्या में लोग बेघर हो जाते हैं और पलायन करने को मजबूर हो जाते हैं। अगर मैं 2020 की बात करूं तो बिहार में उफनती नदियों के पानी से नए क्षेत्रों के जलमग्न हो जाने से बाढ़ की स्थिति और बिगड़ गई थी। इससे 14 जिलों के 53.67 लाख लोग बेहाल हो गए थे। अगर मैं 2021 की बात करूं तो बिहार के कई इलाकों में लगातार हो रही बारिश और प्रमुख नदियों के जलस्तर में वृद्धि हो गई है, जिससे कई जिलों के बाढ़ की स्थिति बन गई है। नदियों के उफान से डरे लोग बाढ़ की आशंका को लेकर ऊंचे स्थान पर जा रहे हैं। पश्चिम चंपारण और गोपालगंज के भी कई इलाकों में बाढ़ का पानी घुस गया है। बताया जा रहा है कि इन जिलों में नदी का पानी गांव में घुसने से कई गांवों का सड़क संपर्क टूट गया है। शिवहर में भी बाढ़ की स्थिति बनी हुई है, जबकि मुजफ्फरपुर के 2 प्रखंडों में बाढ़ का पानी घुस गया है। गंडक में पानी बढ़ने के बाद गोपालगंज में निचले इलाकों में रहने वाले लोग को अलर्ट किया गया है। इस जिलों के 40 से अधिक गांवों में बाढ़ का पानी घुस गया है। सुबह के करीब 12 जिलों में बाढ़ जैसे हालत नजर आ रहा है। इतना सब कुछ हर वक्त हो रहा है, फिर भी सरकार हाथ पर हाथ बैठी है। आखिर जनता जानना चाहती है कि सरकार क्या कदम उठाएगी। बाढ़ हर साल आती है तो सरकार क्या कर रही है, हमें इसका उत्तर मिलना चाहिए। धन्यवाद।
Of Home Affairs, Mr. Avinash Kumar, please.
माननीय महोदय, मेरे सभी साथीगण जो प्रश्न कर रहे हैं, मैं उसका उत्तर इस तरह देना चाहूंगा कि हमारी सरकार इन कार्यों में अपना लगातार प्रयत्न कर रही है। जैसे बिहार के जल सांसद मंत्री संजय झा ने न्यूज से बातचीत में कहा कि बिहार सरकार जल्द अब अपने दम पर कुछ छोटी नदियों को आपस में जोड़ने की कोशिश शुरू कर रही है। शुरुआत में वे उत्तर बिहार और दक्षिण बिहार की एक एक नदी से इसकी शुरुआत करेंगे। अगर यह योजना सफल हुई तो आने वाले समय में कई और नदियों को आपस में जोड़ने की कवायद तेज होगी। उन्होंने बताया कि बिहार की कई नदियां ऐसी हैं जिनमें कम पानी होता है और कई नदियां ऐसी हैं जिनमें बारिश के समय काफी पानी होता है। अगर हम ज्यादा पानी वाली नदी को कम पानी वाली नदी से जोड़ दे तो कई ऐसी नदियां फिर से जागृत हो सकती हैं जो कम पानी की वजह से अपना अस्तित्व खोती जा रही हैं। साथ ही इस कवायद से बाढ़ की समस्याओं से भी कुछ हद तक निजात मिल सकता है। बिहार के जाने माने भूगर्भ शास्त्री प्रोफेसर आरपी सिंह कहते हैं कि नेपाल जब तक हाई डैम नहीं बनाता, यदि तब तक बिहार सरकार अपने प्रयासों से छोटी छोटी नदियों को आपस में जोड़ दे तो इससे राज्य को फायदा मिलेगा। उन्होंने कहा कि नदियों को जोड़ दे तो बाढ़ से काफी राहत मिल सकती है, साथ ही इससे गांव की समस्याओं से भी राहत मिलेगी और नदियों की अविरलता भी कायम रहेगी। धन्यवाद।
Question number 102. Ms. Mehak Mohalik, please.
There has been a lot of uproar in Delhi and Punjab over the farmers' bill introduced by the government. Why farmers are not happy with it and against this farmers' bill? Does it provide a good benefit to the farmers?
Minister of State, Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Mr. Videk Venugopal, please.
Yes, ma'am. Government has been doing a lot for the farmers. Farmers' bill is to help the farmers. According to this, the farmers are allowed to sell outside the APMC. This creates a possibility for more competition and better pricing for the farmers. This means the farmers' market is thrown outside for private trade. This will surely increase their salary and this will help in the growth of the farmers' sector. Niti Aayog has suggested to link financial grant given under Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana to agriculture reform implemented by states.
Floor is now open for supplementary questions. Any supplementary questions, Ms. Mehak Mohalik?
No, ma'am. I've got clear responses to what I want.
Next question. Question number 103. Mr. Kaushik Rao, please.
Honorable Speaker, it is true that the pandemic has devastated the life in general. When we find migrant workers moving away to villages from big cities like Bangalore, Noida, Chennai, where job opportunities are boundless. A humble question to the Minister of Labour and Employment is, why there has been a great hike in unemployment and poverty in urban areas in spite of the direct transfer of money into the bank accounts? What comprehensive plan and roadmap are planned to address the impact of the second wave? Thank you.
Minister of Labour and Employment, Mr. Noel Joseph, please.
Honorable Speaker, to ensure the survival of millions of workers, it has been decided to consider universal healthcare as a legal obligation. Moreover, budgetary allocation for rural employment scheme is also increased. Perhaps you are not updated the urban job guarantee scheme which is under consideration. More employment opportunities will be reassured through Akshaya plans in villages too. A panel is also set up to develop national database regarding unorganized workers. Thank you.
The question hour ends now. No more supplementary, please. The next item in the list of business is breach of privilege.
Madam Speaker, the reporter of the news channel used derogatory and defamatory language against members of parliament, attributing motives to a decision taken by the parliament. Parliamentary privileges refers to the rights and immunities enjoyed as an institution and MPs in their individual capacities, without which we cannot discharge our functions as entrusted upon us by the Constitution.
It will be examined when it comes to me. I shall consider it and let you know my decision. Now, papers to be laid. Papers laid on the table of the House by ministers or members. Honorable Ministers, Ministers of State, Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Ms. Shreya K. Kamath.
आदरणीय महोदय, मैं आपकी अनुमति से आज दिनांक 12 अगस्त 2021 की राज्यसभा संशोधन कार्यालय में कर्म संख्या 3 पर मेरा नाम के समक्ष आगे कर सभा के उत्तर रखती हूँ।
Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare.
Madam, I beg to lay on the table a copy of the following notification. Master of Pharmacy, M.Pharm, Course Amendment, Regulations 2020, Notification Number 14136/2019, published in the PCI Gazette of India, dated March 12, 2020.
The next item in the list of business is the message from Upper Chamber. Secretary General to report message from Upper Chamber to Youth Parliament.
Madam, I have to report the following message received from the Secretary of the Upper Chamber of Youth Parliament. In accordance with the provisions of Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in the Upper House of Youth Parliament, I am directed to enclose a copy of Airports Economic Regulatory Authority of India Amendment Bill 2021, which was introduced in Rajya Sabha by the Minister of Civil Aviation, Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia, at the sitting held on August 4, 2021. The bill allows tariff determination of a group of airports by the way of amending definition of major airport. The bill amends the provisions of the law in relation to tariff for single airports.
Secretary to lay on the table a copy of a bill passed by the Upper Chamber.
I lay on the table of the House a copy of Airports Economic Regulatory Authority of India Amendment Bill 2021 as passed by the Upper Chamber.
Honorable members, at this stage of the proceedings, I have to make an important announcement. On my behalf and on behalf of the honorable members of the House, I have great pleasure in extending warm welcome to Honorable Priti Patel, MP and the leader of the delegation, and the honorable members of UK Parliamentary delegation who are on a visit to India as our honored guests. The other honorable members of the delegation are the Right Honorable Alok Sharma, MP for Reading West President for COP26, Minister of the State for the Cabinet Office, the Right Honorable Brandon Lewis, CBE, MP for the Great Yarmouth Secretary of State of Northern Ireland. It is high-powered delegation. The delegation arrived on Monday, 11 August 2021 for a 5-day visit on the invitation of the Parliament of India. They are now seated in the special box. We wish them a happy and fruitful stay in our country. We also convey our warm greetings and our very best wishes through them to the UK government and the friendly people of UK. Now let us take up the calling attention motion. Ms. Rekha Rani, please call the attention of the Minister.
Honorable Speaker, ma'am, health authorities in the state of Kerala have declared a state of alert in all districts after identifying 14 cases of Zika virus. Kerala, which is already grappling with an increased spread of coronavirus disease, is causing concern to people as they are experiencing such a pathetic condition. Zika virus infection is causing a significant public health concern in Kerala. It was Kerala government saw the outbreak of the Zika virus on July 8 when 14 people were found to be infected. It's even harmful for pregnant women as the mother can pass the infection to her fetus. Zika virus infection is turning into a significant public health concern in Kerala. Ma'am, I beg you to call the attention of the Minister of the Health and Welfare to the situation arising out in the reported cases of the Zika virus and the actions taken by government in this regard. Yet the alarm bells hadn't started ringing in Kerala, which has emerged as the most literate state in the country with 96.2% literacy. Zika virus infection is causing concern to people as they are experiencing such a pathetic condition as the state was unable to tackle the situation. Speaker, ma'am, 2 months ago, Kerala's northern city Kozhikode suffered from Shinjara virus. The first case of the COVID-19 in Kerala, which was also the first confirmed case all over India, was confirmed on Thrissur 2020, when initially Kerala's success in containing COVID-19 was widely praised both nationally and internationally. But now, Kerala has the second highest number of confirmed cases in India after Maharashtra. As of July 2021, more than 90% of the known cases were due to community spread. Areas of Kozhikode districts like Perambra and Nadapuram witnessed a large scale of outbreak of the Nipah virus before Kerala reported India's first case of COVID-19. In fact, Kerala has a long history of the mosquito-borne diseases, but TVM is a new entrant into the list of affected areas. Recently, cases of Zika virus infections were reported in Maharashtra. Speaker ma'am, it is very relevant in this period to control these types of virus infections. And I want to know what steps has the government taken to ensure and control and eradicate these problems. Now everyone covered their faces with multiple masks. I think the government is waiting for the day when the people will be compelled to cover their entire body with mosquito nets. Please clarify.
Yes, Ms. Shreya Patnavan, Minister of Health and Family Welfare, please.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, I have listened carefully to the point raised by Honorable Member of this House regarding the outbreak of Zika virus in some parts of our country. It has always been the endeavor of this government in helping the state in mitigating their suffering. 15 patients in the state capital Trivandrum have already recovered and no new cases have been confirmed anywhere else. The state is treating the Zika virus threat seriously. Trivandrum has better wastewater and garbage disposal facilities. Steps have been taken to spoil mosquito breeding indoors and in pre-domestic areas. Fever clinics have been started across the state and existing facilities against mosquito menace have been strengthened. A massive Zika awareness campaign is also underway in the state. Alerts have been sent to all district administrations to keep a close eye on cases of mosquito bites and conduct necessary fumigation drives. Now, moving on to the budgetary allocation. The National Health Authorities submitted that the budgetary allocation for Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Ayog Yojana for the year 2020-21 is rupees 6,400 crores, out of which rupees 1,350 crores and rupees 250 crores have been allocated under National Rural Health Mission and National Urban Health Mission separately for setting up of Ayushman Bharat Health and Wellness Centers. On a specific query with regard to the enhancement in the budgetary allocation during this pandemic, the National Health Authority conceded that adequate budget provisions have been made and if needed, additional funds would be provided. The National Health Authority was deputing a high-level multidisciplinary team to Maharashtra to help them prepare to deal with Zika virus outbreak after one case was reported in Pune. 3-member center team consists of a public health expert from the Office of Regional Director, Pune, a gynecologist from Lady Hardingo Medical College, New Delhi, and entomologist from National Institute of Malaria Research. It will work closely with the State Health Department and take stake of the situation on ground. Moving on to the legal framework. Health is a state subject as per on Constitution. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare would provide the state and union territory administrations with guidance and logistic support. Epidemic Act 1897 provides for the state to act in a manner to facilitate control of the Zika virus disease outbreak. Legal provision on Medical Termination Act, Pregnancy Act will be reviewed if needed. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare would support the states in managing human cases caused by Zika virus and containing its further spread. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare will be supported by other ministries, namely Home Affairs, Agriculture, Civil Aviation, Urban Development, Defense, External Affairs, Information and Broadcasting, Chemicals and Fertilizers, and other ministries as deemed relevant for prevention measures. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare will also license with international agencies, namely World Health Organization and UNICEF. If the nature of the Zika virus disease outbreak is such that it requires coordination of multiple sectors or attains the potential of a national crisis, the National Crisis Management Committee would review and advise the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare on mitigation measures. Chief Secretary of a state would ensure coordination between health and other relevant sectors. The Principal Secretary or the Secretary of the State Health Department will take administrative and financial decisions with regard to prevention, preparedness, and response activities pertaining to the health sector. A technical committee under District Health Society would provide the technical support. The health department would draw up an action plan for Zika virus disease and test it. The action plan would provide for surveillance for detecting cases early. Institute preparedness measures, provide training to the state and district rapid response team, and provide necessary infrastructure for clinical management of cases. The central government's efforts in creating awareness among the community and soliciting their active engagement on mitigating risks would be further facilitated by states' own initiatives through print, audio, social, and visual media. Everyone should follow the instructions given by the health authorities. अगर आप मच्छरदानी से कोट सिलवाने चाहते हो तो कोई आपको रोक नहीं सकता। धन्यवाद।
Finance Minister Jayakrishan introduced the bill.
Introduction. The National Bank for Financing of the Bill Infrastructure Financing seeks to set up as the prime development financial institution, DFI. DFI is set up to provide long-term finance to sectors of the economy where the risk involved are beyond the permissible limits of the commercial banks and other general financial institutions. Unlike banks, DFI do not accept deposits from the people. They receive funds from the market, government, as well as multilateral institutions and are often supported through the government guarantee. Consideration. If the bill is considered, then it will have both financial and development objectives. The financial objective has to be directly or indirectly to lend, invest, or attract investment for fully or partially located infrastructure projects in India. The central government will lay down the areas falling within the ambit of infrastructure. The development objective includes facilitating market development for bonds, credits, and derivatives for the financing infrastructure.
എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. ഞാൻ ഇന്ന് ഇവിടെ ഒരു ബില്ലാണ് അവതരിപ്പിക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത്. DFI അഥവാ ഡെവലപ്മെന്റ് ഫിനാൻഷ്യൽ ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻ. പേര് സൂചിപ്പിക്കുന്നത് പോലെ തന്നെ ഇവർ നമ്മുടെ നാടിന്റെ വികസനത്തിന് വേണ്ടിയുള്ള ധനകാര്യ സ്ഥാപനങ്ങളാണ്. DFIയുടെ ലക്ഷ്യങ്ങളെ നമുക്ക് രണ്ടായിട്ട് തരംതിരിക്കാം. സാമ്പത്തിക ലക്ഷ്യമെന്നും ധനകാര്യ ലക്ഷ്യമെന്നും. മറ്റു ബാങ്കുകളെ പോലെ ഇവർ പൊതുജനങ്ങളുടെ കയ്യിൽ നിന്നും നിക്ഷേപങ്ങളൊന്നും തന്നെയും സ്വീകരിക്കാറില്ല. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ ഇവർ ഹൈ റിസ്കിലാണ് ഫിനാൻസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ഇവർ മാർക്കറ്റ്, ഗവൺമെന്റ്, മൾട്ടിലാറ്ററൽ സ്ഥാപനങ്ങളുടെ കയ്യിൽ നിന്നും നിക്ഷേപങ്ങൾ സ്വീകരിക്കാറുണ്ട് അഥവാ ഫണ്ട് സ്വീകരിക്കാറുണ്ട്. ഇതിന്റെ പിന്നിൽ നമ്മുടെ സർക്കാരിന്റെ പിന്തുണ വളരെ വലുതാണ്. സാമ്പത്തിക സ്ഥാപനങ്ങളുടെ അസംസ്കൃത വസ്തുക്കൾക്കുള്ള ധനകാര്യമാണ് ഇവർ പൊതുവായിട്ടും ലക്ഷ്യമിടുന്നത്. ഇതുപോലുള്ള സ്ഥാപനങ്ങൾ ദിനം പ്രതി വളർന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന ഇന്ത്യ എന്ന രാജ്യത്തിന് വളരെ അത്യാവശ്യമാണ്. നന്ദി, നമസ്കാരം.
आदरणीय महोदय जी, मैं NBFID के बारे में आपसे कुछ कहना चाहूंगी। ये लोन देगा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फाइनेंसिंग के लिए। इसमें सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट अपना 100% शेयर रखेगी। हम इसमें 1 लाख करोड़ तक के शेयर इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं। ये लोन ही नहीं देगा बल्कि जो इन्वेस्टमेंट है उसको भी इंडिया में अट्रैक्ट करेगा। अगर किसी कंपनी की फाइनेंशियली हालत ठीक नहीं है तो ये उसे भी लोन देगा। अगर कोई घपला हो जाता है तो यही तय करेगा कि उसके साथ क्या किया जाए। ये प्राइवेट सेक्टर्स का इन्वॉल्वमेंट भी बढ़ाएगा और फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट को भी बढ़ावा देगा। इसीलिए मैं इस बिल का समर्थन करती हूँ। धन्यवाद।
Honorable Speaker, respected ministers, and all my fellow ministers gathered over here. This bill seeks to set up a prime development financial institutions. Unlike banks, DFIs do not accept deposit from people. Rather, they receive the fund from markets, government, and multilateral institutions and organizations, and are often supported through government guarantees. If this bill is considered, then it will have both financial and development objectives. The financial objectives has to be directly or indirectly lend, invest, or attract investment for fully or partially located infrastructure sites in India. The development objectives include facilitating market development for bonds, credits, and derivatives for financing infrastructure. Therefore, I am in favor of this bill and my vote goes for this bill. Thank you.
The question is that leave be granted to introduce a bill to provide laws for economic sectors 2021. Those who are in favor, will please say A.
Ayes have it. Ayes have it. Ayes have it.
Those who are not, those who are against, will please say no. No. I think A's have it. The A's have it. The A's have it. Leave is granted. Minister of Finance, please. The main purpose of the bill is to provide the development objectives which include facilitating market development for bonds, credit, and the derivatives for financing infrastructure to be taken into consideration. Those who are all in favor will please say A. Ayes have it. Ayes have it. Ayes have it. Those who are against it will please say no.
No.
I think ayes have it. Ayes have it. Ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Clause by clause consideration. Now the question is that clause 2 to 10 stands part of the bill. There is one amendment in clause 5 by Sri Shreyas. Are you moving it?
No, no, sir.
The question is that clause 2 to 10 stand part of the bill. Those who are not in favor will please say aye.
Ayes have it.
Those who are against will please say no. No. I think ayes have it. Ayes have it. Ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Clause 2 to 10 stand part of the bill. Now the question is that the clause 1, the enacting formula of and the title stand part of the bill. Those who are all in favor will please say aye.
Ayes have it. Ayes have it.
Those who are against will please say no. No. I think ayes have it. Ayes have it. Ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Minister of Finance, please.
Sir, I move the bill to pass.
Motion moved that the bill is passed. Those who are in favor will please say aye. Ayes have it.
Ayes have it. Ayes have it.
Those who are against it may please say no. I think ayes have it. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Now the House is adjourned to meet again tomorrow at 11 a.m.
The national song.